right, here we are. Cool. Give a couple people a second or two to tap in. Probably get on our share games. To the U space.
Yes.
There's always a phone. Every show.
Yep, that's me.
Every show. Share to Wintus. Big Wintus to share. Yeah.
Did we get to the 1,000 on YouTube?
Mm-hmm. 1,090.
And you still having a hard time?
Need 50 more and some shorts, which is just easy enough. Just cut up a couple videos.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, especially some of our shit talk. Maybe throw a couple bobbleheads up there just for the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got 9 people. I am not picky. Good morning. How you doing, boss?
I'm all right, man. Had better days, but I'm still here.
How was your Halloween?
It was all right. Nobody knocked at my door.
No one trick or treats in Flint.
My girlfriend had people knocking at her door. She lives around the corner from me.
Oh, did you have your porch light on and all that?
Yeah. Oh. I ain't tripping.
I don't know. I was out of town. I was down in Ann Arbor.
Away. Yeah. Oh, at the VA?
Yeah. Oh, shit. I was getting an MRI done. But
good afternoon. What's up, right versus wrong?
Howdy. So, solutions to the problems, right? I think we're missing a whole bunch because we talk about things that we see every day, right? Mm-hmm. But where does most of this come from?
Things that we see every day. Where does it come from?
Yeah, like where do these problems stem from, basically?
Home. I'm right.
Yeah. Like, all right. So let's take a look at our government. Any shape, size, form, whichever one you want to look at, right? What you want from your government is the same things you want from your household. You want honesty, transparency, you want stability, and you want to not spend more money than you're making. And lastly, you want respect. Mm-hmm. If you don't learn those in your home as a child or as a parent, putting those those values down to your child, and they don't hold those, deep to themselves, they're just going to vote for whatever sounds pretty at the moment. They're going to vote based on words rather than on actions. That's another thing when you telling your kids, oh yeah, we're going to go to Disneyland this summer, you never show. Now they're kind of used to that letdown feeling. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, we get disrespected here a lot by our local governments. County Board of Commissioners, they're shutting down a dozen plus buildings or so. They took a swipe at the school board.
Not surprised.
No. They said something like one only needs to look at the Flint community schools to see that so many buildings without or not being used is a detriment or something like that. I'm like, they're shutting them down, bro. You can slow the hell down. But that lack of respect among what are supposed to be partners, right? So husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you may have at home or want to have at home someday. If you aren't showing each other that kind of respect and your kids aren't used to seeing that kind of respect between y'all, they'll think that that's completely acceptable when it comes to your governance. Oh, yeah, the County Board of Commissioners, it's totally cool for them to trash the city of Flint or city of Flint to do vice versa. Or the school board can just get shit on by everyone.
Yeah.
Which,
if you guys, we've been doing this for a little while now. Mm-hmm. and you know, like y'all know that I pick and choose my words very carefully because I don't want people coming after me for saying certain things, so to speak. Like, um, you can't talk about city council because y'all stuff is messed up over there, you know,
Yep.
or you can't talk about the county commissioners because y'all stuff is messed up over there. So I pick and choose what I say, you know what I mean? Like I still am a resident, I still, you know, pay taxes, and I still, you know, I'm a citizen or whatnot. So I still have the right,
Mm-hmm.
you know, as a person who lives in Flint. But I just because of what I do, I pick and choose my words very, very, very carefully. Um, but with that being said, we get disrespected a lot.
Yeah. And
No, that's not to say that, you know, because I know a lot of my other brothers and sisters here at 810 do take swipes at people, and
Mhm.
I've taken my fair share, you know, swipes too.
Oh
You know,
God.
I've taken my fair share.
If you're talking about other folks here at 810 taking shots, I feel like that elephant in the room needs to be addressed. I am an asshole and I don't
Well,
apologize.
see, again, that's me not naming nobody's names. I just like, you know, some of my other brothers
I'll
and
raise
sisters
my
here at
hand on it.
810, you know, but again, you know, if you, I've come to the point to realize, well, I ain't even that come to the point. I realized real quick that once you become a public figure, once you jump out here and become elected official, you know, like you're gonna get talked about.
Mhm.
Like people are gonna talk, whether it be good or bad. The first thing that I would tell my students is like, you ain't never gonna be able to make everybody happy, and that's the first rule of politics.
That is true.
That's the first rule of politics, that you like, I can make everybody over here happy, but it's gonna be a bunch of folks over here that's gonna be sitting over there with their arms folded, you
Mhm.
know, breathing fire, you know. So
I mean, you've got two choices: make a group happy while making a group upset, or you make everyone upset.
mhm,
There is no in the middle. There
yep,
is no exact opposite.
that's why I try my hardest to do what's right, to do, you know, to be ethical, to be moral, to be, you know, legal. I don't have to worry about if I broke any laws, or I don't have to worry about if I got to worry about the FBI knocking at my door because I stole some money, or I did this, or I did
Nah,
this, or I don't have to worry
but
about
in
that.
your position, you do have to worry about the FBI knocking on your door, asking what you know about some of the other political figures running around here in Flint.
Hey, y'all better keep that. You better keep it from me because I'm telling. You better
Yeah.
hope I don't find out, because if they knock on my door, I'm telling. I'm
Hell, he's
telling.
knocking on their door.
Yeah, I went to them. Like if I find out you want some bullshit, I'm telling.
Yeah.
I didn't get into this to make friends. I didn't get into, you know, I got into this to make a difference. And if I find out that you're doing something, I have gone to the state police. I have gone to the FBI. I have
Mm-hmm.
gone to and spoken to people. I've talked to prosecutors. I've talked to attorneys. I've talked to, you know, I'm telling. I'm not going to jail for nobody. I'm gonna say it again. I'm telling.
And let me quickly address county commissioners and their swipe at the school board. It was one commissioner, I can't even remember his name. I'm just going to say, sir, I don't appreciate that. Not one little bit. Like, you guys got your own problems. I believe your estimate coming from contractors and maintenance personnel said you've got over the next 10 years $82 million in money coming out on repairs, which is an estimated $80 million higher than what you're projected to make. You are upside down damn near 40 times. You have no room to be talking about anyone, especially when it comes to finances and how things are running you down. And it took you this long to get to planning on decommissioning some buildings and getting rid of them. It took you to the point of $80 million. Why don't you worry about your lane? Mr. Clack will worry about his. We'll all worry about
Everybody's lame.
everyone else's since I'm not an elected official. But as an elected official, stick to your lane, boss. Don't be taking no swipes at no one else. I mean, you've got enough problems with your road commission with X, Y, and Z. You've got enough problems with appointing people instead of letting the people of Flint have a say in our own governance. Just shut up and sit down, please. You know what? If you don't trust us with our own governance, then I'm just not going to follow around what you have to say. You can try, but no taxation without representation. Representation comes from elections, comes from me having a say. I don't need someone to have a say for me that I didn't elect. Luckily, we got someone that everyone around here knows, another recycled name, but you know what? At least he's a halfway decent guy. Just sit down, don't make a long-winded post like that, explaining absolutely nothing and then taking shots at the people around us. And that comes back to respect. And it seems like people have forgotten how to show respect in your household, right? When you and I are growing up, oh, you said you used to like it listening to Eminem.
Hmm. I was grown then, but yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, 20s, you weren't grown up yet.
Well, by number,
By number, but
yeah.
by brain activity,
No, I
no
definitely, yeah,
good
I'm
God.
still, yeah, no, definitely not.
Right. I'm glad my parents didn't like the music. Eminem, starting out, he was killing his girlfriend every song and
His
and
mom
killing
and
his mom every song.
yeah,
Like that is such disrespect. And growing up with that in a household, like, could you imagine?
one of my
Being a
kids rapping about me like that.
yeah,
No,
or you know, your dad listening to disrespecting your mom like that,
no.
and it shows, right? Some folks how that respect is lost in the household, and they don't know how to go out on the street and respect someone. Even just little respect, a little nod. I acknowledge your existence. I'm going to go around you now on this sidewalk and give you a little bit of room.
Mhm.
Instead, they just bulldoze through. Or you go into Walmart and someone just has to say a snarky comment about you, like, bruh, it would have cost you less energy to just keep that to yourself.
Mhm.
Going out of your way to be disrespectful right now. And because we aren't used to that sort of respect now, and we aren't giving that to our kids for them to expect respect, it comes out and we see our governance just walking all the hell over us. Hell, Congress did a little bit of a show yesterday. Congress, they got their Speaker of the House finally.
Mhm.
Hooray! And some of the first businesses of order is censoring each other
Yeah.
because that goes right up to the absolute top of the agenda. Well, how about my spending bills? How about you guys stop sending my money to money laundering facilities across the world? I mean, wars.
Mhm.
There's no respect there.
No, I don't. Here's the thing: how does Congress get paid 100 and what 40, 120, $30,000 a year? But all these dudes are millionaires. They come in regular Joes and they come out millionaires.
Dude, I've got several examples of that, right? If we're looking at House of Representatives, Matt Gaetz.
Hmm.
I do not like Matt Gaetz. He's
I
a
don't either.
slimy. Hey, I'll call out my own party all day. I don't care. If you're a piece of trash, you're a piece of trash, right?
Hmm.
Slimy. Somehow a millionaire. We got, let's look at the other house as well, at the Senate. Dianne Feinstein. I think she just recently
She just
passed,
passed. Yeah.
but she was in the Senate most of her damn adult life, somehow a millionaire. Nancy Pelosi came in a thousandaire and is now a multimillionaire. Sanders, Cruz.
I have so little respect for him. Like,
Cruz?
yeah,
Hmm.
so little respect for him. He made his wife get a whole new makeover once Trump started talking about you disrespect my wife like that, dude, and then you just still go sniggling back to him and President Trump, can you please shake my hand or whatever. It's like you talk about my wife like that, we gonna have a problem.
A lot of
Not
them.
he like if you saw his wife recently, she looks nothing like she did when he was running for president before.
Mm-mm.
Nothing like she had a whole Taylor Swift makeover. Like she had a whole like her hair ain't even the same color. My head got hot. It's hot in here though.
Yeah,
They got the
it's
heat on.
nice being in a place with climate control.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the VA is frigid in there.
Shoot.
And then they made me throw on scrubs for my MRI. I'm like, nope, I'm glad this is an MRI and not like a camera because
Yeah.
nothing to show.
Yeah.
My skin was so cold it like bunched up and started shriveling. I'm like, God damn, how long
So
is this gonna take?
I wanted to ask you something that I heard Art Woodson say. I
Mm.
think it was Art that said it. He was talking about was it Dr. Mona and the kid
RX kids.
yeah, and paying the kids. I think it's was 70, is it 7,500 a year?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So well, my first question is the guys, the fathers, of course there's no provisions in that for them, so they still get hit with child support.
Mhm.
So not only are they splitting up the family,
Mhm.
the mother gets X amount of dollars, the father gets, if he can't be there in the household. Is
He
that true?
can, but can't.
Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah, you saw that smile creep across my face because, all right, when me and my wife first moved up here, we played that game.
I did too.
I intentionally held off on getting married to her because she had 2 kids, my stepchildren, and, without me in the household, even though I was only employed by the National Guard,
hmm
it was making too much money.
hmm
So, couldn't get food stamps, couldn't pay bills, couldn't X, Y, Z, couldn't get on a lot of programs, including the one that got my wife her job now where she gets to help people,
hmm
right? So, it's better for these programs, especially ones like RX Kids, that the father and mother are not married, that they stay apart. As you said, breaking up the family. It's another incentive to keep a family from being a family.
Yeah. See, so if we have a city full of people that fall, I don't know, that are, I don't know, what's the poverty? Is it 62% or something like that of people in Flint that live under the poverty level, something like that?
54%.
54. Okay. So if you're telling them, all right, look, you're already poor,
Mhm.
or lack of resources, or
Yeah.
financially challenged. This is, I don't like saying poor, but we want you to go out and we want you to go out and create another bill. We're gonna cover you for the first, was it 5 years, 6 years?
5 years.
5 years. That doesn't even sound
Sustainable?
sustainable nor ethically. That
No.
doesn't sound like we want to, like, we don't even care if you get married. Like, the whole thing we grew up, it was like, hey, you got to get married, graduate high school, get married,
Mhm.
find your wife, get married, have kids, get a job, get the
Yep.
dog, the picket fence, live happily ever after. Now is, hey, just get pregnant.
Mhm.
Now, the question was, I think Art said that they want to study the kids that these people had, the kids that are about to be born. So
Mhm.
these are the people that are having kids that are already victims of the water crisis.
Mhm.
So their kids are going to be the ones that they want to study. So they're going to pay for the first 5 years. It makes perfect sense.
Generation 2.
Right.
Yeah.
So did lead travel? We know lead
Yeah.
goes, generation, generation, generation. But they don't even help with the kids that are already here.
No. No, they don't. And it so they're creating more of a poverty problem in the first place by doing this, right?
hmm
So, if I can't afford to make my bills, and now you're gonna give me 7,500 a year, well, someone short sighted is going to go, that's $7,500 I didn't have. They're
hmm
not going to realize them diapers, that baby food,
Infamil, yeah,
and
daycare,
all the driving you're going to have to do just
yeah.
to do all that. You just put yourself, what I want to say, 70K deeper
hmm
because of all this. Not to mention medical bills if you don't have insurance, or even if you have insurance, you got co-pays and
hmm
X,
hmm
Y's, and Z's. So they're hoping to glean something from the water crisis, but what they don't understand is there's a completely different mindset to children growing up in poverty in the first place, especially rougher areas like certain parts of Flint, right? Like, oh, this child's got ODD, obsessive disobedience disorder, whatever,
Is that the one where it's like they automatically do the opposite of what you
yes,
ask them? Yeah,
which they try saying a lot of kids have. No, that's just kids
yeah.
without a bit of discipline. And they're going to grow up in a far different set of circumstances than, say, kids on the south side of Flint.
hmm
So they're gonna try putting that on the lead. Like, no, no, you've created a far worse poverty problem with RX kids, and you're gonna see that certain groups now are gonna be the ones applying for it, mainly those impoverished, and you're gonna try attributing all that to one problem when it's actually multiple sets of problems compounding each other. It's ridiculous, and I'm not ever for any sort of guaranteed income like that unless you've fallen through the cracks so far so deep, right? Because I know enough about psychology. If you don't have to, you ain't gonna do it,
Mhm.
right? So now you've got not just food stamps, state assistance, cash assistance, all sorts of programs out there to help young struggling mothers who rightfully deserve it. You're now bringing an influx of more people doing this to themselves because they hear 7,500 at the tail end. And
Yep.
what happens to some of these young mothers who, because they only have so many slots,
Mhm.
or who get pregnant, maybe knowing or not knowing, it doesn't matter, but the slots are filled. So now they're with this child that they don't have no resources, and they were really planning on keeping the child and hoping that RX kids would be there to help them. Well, now RX kids said we're full. You've had the child. What kind of position you in?
Mhm.
It's it's heartbreaking, man.
I just hope that there are enough smart people out there to see. And I'm just not gonna have a baby because somebody's giving me $7,500 a year.
Hmm.
Like babies cost a lot of money, a
Hmm.
lot of money, especially if you're the father and you're not with the mother.
Oh God.
Especially, trust me, I know. Like I know of all people, like I don't even know. Last I counted was $91,000 for both of my kids, and
Mhm.
I was living in the household for most of those years. You know what I mean? They were still taking child support out of my pay. But it was just, this is like, come on, man. Like,
So you've met my brother. Me and Kevin Roy grew up separate households, same dad, different moms. Dad was paying something like $500 a month, and we were already fairly impoverished living in Texas. Um, it was hard to make ends meet most months, right? Like I can understand the father side from that. That's one of the reasons why I have no biological children of my own right now.
hmm hmm
Because before I met my wife, and now she's already had two, she doesn't want any more. Understand, honey, I love you to death. Don't worry about it. I was so terrified of getting hit with child support.
oh yeah,
As God, First Sergeant Asbury used to say, put on some latex or she gets your paychecks.
yeah,
And the army makes sure of that shit.
hmm
There is no court, there is no XYZ. No, even if you're not married, right? If you're married, you get BAH. If you split up, she takes all that. If you're a E1 private making 800 a month, she gets 500 of that straight up without a court because the army's its own judicial system. I was like, oh hell no.
yeah,
I think for my first 23 months in the army, I was abstinent. I wasn't going running around looking for women, none of that. I'm like, no. Mm-mm.
yeah,
I was terrified of that shit. And then they're putting it onto Flint here. We already don't have a lot of jobs.
yeah. This whole thing to me, like every day I wake up and it's something new that makes me just, it's like, what, what? And
Mm-hmm.
then there's no oversight. There's nobody like, who are the people that are supposed to be watching over us and helping us and taking these people that are taking advantage and taking money and not giving the resources and not allocating where they're supposed to go? And like, how this is my thing. And then there's no diss to Saginaw. Hopefully there's no one from Saginaw here watching. If so, but what the hell? How can Saginaw get all of their ARPA funds allocated and nobody's got tarps on their roofs and stuff like that in Saginaw? They
How
got
is
to.
that a diss? No, that sounds like a praise to me.
Well, it is, but I'm saying it like this is, man, it's Saginaw,
Yeah.
but they even Saginaw has a new school being built or about to be built. Saginaw United when Arthur Hill and Saginaw High combined. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So here we are, 30 miles south, and can't get our shit together.
No. And it's culture of city to culture of city, right? Like Saginaw did get a bad name in the 70s and it's persisted. But when you look at their track record through the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s compared to Flint's, it's gotten progressively better, while Flint's is either stagnated or dropped. And yeah, right versus wrong. I know that statistic. I'm actually one of the 97% with a divorce.
Hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's stressful when you're private, you're away from home. Usually you get lonely. And a lot of those kids rush off first thing to a strip club,
Hmm.
marry a stripper. Little do they know she's got like 10 or 15 rings under her belt already, collecting alimony from all of them.
Wow. Yeah.
It's absolutely fucking hilarious.
Yeah. But I don't know what to do. There's, it's almost when here's the thing, because I grew up a little bit differently because both of my parents, were politicians. So when, as far as I know, my parents were straight shooters. They didn't, they weren't
Mhm.
corrupt. They didn't take anything, and I think that's why a lot of people liked my parents, and that's why some people did not like my parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Can't make
so,
everyone happy.
well, of course, but I just know that when people say, even now, I get kind of offended when people say all politicians are crooked. I'm like, wait a minute, I grew up in a household with two of them. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't. My parents aren't rich. You know what I mean? Like to.
Here's what that means, though, right? Like, you can't talk about every politician. So you're saying in general.
Mhm.
So when I say all politicians are crooked, obviously there's outliers,
Of
but
course.
those outliers are the exception that prove the rule
Right.
because they're so far out there, so few and far in between. I mean, okay, I can go with the mayor from Douglas, Arizona when I was growing up. God damn it. His brother is a judge. Can't even remember his name right now. Start with a B. Anyway, white guy. He owned $300,000 worth of property in Mexico
Mhm.
after he became mayor. Before he became mayor, he wasn't all that rich. He was just some lawyer dude, a couple 10, 15,000 in the bank account. After he became mayor, he became a millionaire. He was working with the cartels.
That would be too scary for me.
You do what they
Uh,
say. You get a bag. You get literally a saran wrapped stack of cash that someone just drives to your house, knocks on your door, leaves it, and dips out.
But the second that you don't, you end up in a 50-gallon, thing with battery acid, and battery acid.
Just do what they say.
So I don't know.
I mean, it's the border. It isn't like you're doing anything that wouldn't get done anyway. Is the way many people look at it. Because yeah, you're right. I don't do what you say. I'm ending up in battery acid.
Mhm.
If I don't even pick up your phone calls to set up the deal in the first place, I'm ending up in battery acid. I might as well.
Are you
Is
gonna
how they look at it.
you gonna cut my kids' toes off or some, pull my teeth out one by one or something like that? Like,
Yeah. So growing up, we only had two guns in the house. 22 hunting rifles.
mhm.
When I got back from Afghanistan, I'd heard that there was a firefight in Agua Prieta. That firefight wasn't no like what we see around here in Flint. No, there were 50 cals and hand grenades being thrown around. I went and bought my dad a fucking AR. I'm like, nope, here you go, dad. Here's your mags. Here's how you disassemble it, reassemble it. Here's how you use it. It's old school, just like you. There's no optic, nothing for you to fuck with. Here you go. Take them to the range, teach them how to use it. And that gave me a little bit of peace of mind, right? Things were so different down there than they are up here. Up here, yeah, there's violence. And yeah, there's definitely collateral damage. But there's not hand grenades flying around.
Nah, we ain't got nothing like that.
Jesus.
The most outrageous thing I've heard like that, and that wasn't even in Flint. That was a dude in Chicago that got caught with a bazooka, or he got like but he didn't even like he was on Facebook with it.
Hmm.
I don't, I haven't heard.
I'm thinking of buying myself a inner RPG 7 tube.
All right,
Well, they disable it and weld a rod through it so you can't put the actual rocket in.
okay.
It only cost me like $500.
Why you want to buy one of them if you can't shoot it?
That one, wall decoration.
All
It's
right,
a round tube with a trigger on it. I mean, and it looks cool. Anyone who's played Call of Duty sits there and goes, "I RPG 7."
yeah, no, if no, I know where you can get a real one.
Mm.
This was the I did. This is years ago when I was in shopping for my Harley, and I was out like way out in Sandusky going towards Port Huron, and I pulled over to this gas station. And it was like a gun store in there. They
Mm-hmm.
had everything in there. It had guns, liquor, food, gas. They had pumpkins outside. Like it was like everything there.
Did you pick up a pack of cigarettes?
You could pick up everything there. Yeah.
Dude, then they should rename that store the ATF. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms for
Yeah,
good.
you could get everything there, literally. But yeah. Let me see. Did I ask what else? Should I tell everybody? Should I tell people? No, I'm not gonna tell nobody.
Yet.
Yeah, I'm not
Give
gonna,
it some time to settle down and you get your mind straight on that one.
yeah.
Oh, like. Okay. Let me see. No, I'm coming up with a blank, and it's kind of hurting me here.
Me too. It seems like since I was gone all weekend, it's like I came back and it was like I was like,
Everything to
yeah,
talk about and nothing to talk about
yeah,
all at
like I
once.
just fell off. Like it's like I missed home for a couple of days, and now I'm like just trying to play catch up on everything.
right now, I'm stoked about the crime commission that this
Hmm.
gentleman came up with,
Hmm.
and they're incorporating so many people into it. And I had to do some work into it, right? Because I saw the man who failed fucking civics, Dougie, sitting there talking about how is this going to do anything? It sounds like vigilantism. All right, let's explain how this works. A crime commission, what they do is they, as private citizens, many of them with money, and they've done it in Detroit, they've done it down in Miami, they've done it literally every major city in the United States. Where can you send? I'll get with you on that one. Anyway, so what they do,
Right versus wrong. Thanks, yo.
what they do is they hire PIs, they talk with people out in the public to gather hard facts about corruption and organized crime. Get pictures, get recordings, document everything. And then they work with media, in this case, Mr. Kilbreth, us, and a few others, to take that information and put it out into the public sphere. Because once something becomes, quote, common knowledge enough, then authorities are obligated to investigate.
Hmm.
Whether they know the backstory behind it or not, whether they know it was completely legal from the get go or not, they now must investigate and then prove to a prosecuting attorney that this is all innocent from the get go.
Hmm.
And then once the prosecuting attorney turns in paperwork showing the proof of innocence, then it can be ignored.
Well,
If it cannot be 100% discredited as X, Y, and Z, then they must submit paperwork to prosecute in an open court of law.
okay.
So just like if a cop were to see you walking down the street any place but Flint, any place but Michigan, smoking a joint, the cop sees it, must react. That is how law enforcement works. If you know of a crime in progress, you must react to it. Here in Flint, they've been able to keep their eye off of it for so long because of all the corruption. But with so much now coming into the public sphere, partially through groups like 810, then they can't just turn a blind eye to it anymore. Because now so many people see it. Thanks to Art, he's been working this stuff for a long while. And because of his work, a lot of things have come to light, and it shows blatant illegal activity.
Hmm.
And he picks up, several hundred to 1,000 views each week every time he goes live. People catch the reruns and X, Y, and Z. And I'm pretty sure, based off of that, once or twice people have been found out and arrested and prosecuted. So now with them and that crime commission working with multiple news organizations at once, going, right versus wrong is in their own way a crime commission. Doing document dumps that get put out onto the airwaves and into the public sphere of common knowledge, that's when things start getting done. So it isn't like, you know, I think Liddell is dirty and I go and arrest her. Like citizens arrest are a thing, yes, but that is not the overarching goal of this. It is to basically shame law enforcement into action.
Okay. So basically, let me get this. If I got this is a bunch of groups like 810 coming together.
Mhm.
But these guys have a little bit more money and resources than 810.
Well, yeah, it's like two branches. And yeah, while we work together and we will probably be coordinating together, they do their thing, we do our thing. We will always be 810. We'll always, local news. We'll
Of
always
course.
our own politics and our opinions thereof. But them using their money and resources will be gathering the information and then talking to the media who they trust to put it out there for them.
Okay.
I mean, they could always do a Google Drive, but I wouldn't trust Google encryption with a 10-foot pole.
Okay. All right.
Everything's okay, Miss Harris. Everything's
What's
okay.
up, Miss Harris? Okay.
Google encryption is kind of trash, to be honest with you, for one of the largest companies in the world. It's pretty trash.
Well, I was just thinking about if, because again, people like Art have been doing this for so long.
Mhm.
And then, 810's on the scene now. And
Yeah, we've been running for what now, Mickey? 3 years? I mean, I've been running with you for about a year, but you two officially.
I was out here in 2020.
You incorporated your LLC in 2020, so about 3 years now.
When was our first thing? It was at the when we recorded you.
Last year.
No, I'm talking about me and like remember at the library when I did the
Last year, yeah.
I did the forum. That was 2 years ago.
That's 2 years ago. Jesus. It's been that long with you guys?
Yeah. No, wait a minute. That was last year.
That was last year.
Because that was right before the two guys died in the fire. I remember that.
That was right after.
Right after.
Yeah, because you and I just met in the back of Satara's car.
Yep.
That was a trip. But yeah, like, if you think about it, 810's done a lot of work in the time that we've been operating.
Mm-hmm.
We've broken some news before even the quote legacy media did. Months, sometimes, weeks, sometimes months ahead of time. We've done it with more accuracy. So we've actually built up a lot of trust in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was really cool that Art threw us a bone and said, hey,
You'll need to go
you guys
ahead.
with this crime commission that you're putting together, talk to 810. Before you talk to them, I've given you their name. Go look at some of their videos. Go look at their past year and change worth of work.
Mm-hmm.
And they trusted us enough and liked us enough that they called Mickey and let him in on the press conference and answered 810's questions and stuff.
That's cool. That's cool.
Wentus, ignore us altogether. Please pay all your attention to your friend. We're boring. And I hope your friend gets better. Guys, everyone give Wentus some love, please.
Oh, hey, Wentus.
But
the first video he saw was a female. No, that was Satara.
Yeah, that was Satara.
Yeah,
the very first time I'd been interviewed and spoke publicly. God, in 6 years. Prior to that, I was giving classes to privates in my old company, in Alpha Company 212. I was teaching all the brand new privates how to properly operate a machine gun, because drill sergeants are dumb when it comes to machine guns.
You ain't taught me how to operate a machine. I'm just playing, Trevor.
I mean,
I don't even need to be.
You know what? Once we start making money and advertising and we can start paying our personalities, I'm going to save up 10 grand. I'm going to buy a 249S.
That's what you used to have in it, or in the military.
Yes, yeah. But the S is a civilian version, so it's only single shot. So it's completely legal.
Fun.
Huh?
That ain't no fun.
Sure it is.
You can't just.
Oh no, but it's got a heavier barrel, so I can just do this all day, and then I can install a binary trigger. So then it's this.
Those are dangerous to me. I'm scared of them
Oh,
because you got to shoot 2 bullets out. What if you just like shoot one and change your mind? Like I don't want to kill
you
him, and now
flip
you
it.
got
You flip the switch back to or to semi
when
when you
it's
can let
still
go of it.
okay. All right. I always thought like, what if you just in the middle of shooting at somebody or shooting something and you just want to stop? You still got to let it out, and another bullet flies out.
Yeah, or you can drop your mag and open up the chamber, eject the round that's currently chambered. Then you can let go of the trigger. I mean, there's 1,001 different ways.
See, y'all still learning.
I got a binary trigger. I love binary triggers.
See, I'm still learning. Good morning, Miss Kincaid. Miss Harris, go ahead. Start.
Yeah.
Do your news thing.
You
The
know
more the
what,
merrier. There's enough news around here to go around.
Miss Harris, where you at? Are you a Flint resident? I'm sorry, I have to ask now because we've got people from all over the country.
Everywhere.
If you're a Flint resident, maybe we can work with you with 810. If nothing else, then we can talk to Mickey about just sharing your stuff so you get out.
Oh, she's in Louisville.
Oh, Kentucky. There we go. Do your own thing. Grab some people with some good personalities, some interesting folks to talk to. Go buy yourself a what type of camera is that, Mickey? A Lumix?
That's the Panasonic.
There you go.
Mhm,
Grab
the
yourself
mirrorless.
one of those. Get yourself a StreamYard. Pop it on.
Or if you don't, you can still use your cell phone too.
Yeah.
You can use your cell phone. Yeah, you can use your cell phone like this. If you don't have the budget to start up with a DSLR, or a camera, you can use your cell phone. Half the time, these cell phones, I know this one, it might shoot better than my Canon for real, because my Canon is it's a couple years old. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, Miss Harris, you know what? I'm getting with you after the show. I'd like to see some of your graphics that you've made, and I may end up buying a few off of you.
Yeah, I make graphics too. Don't be trying to step on my toes, Miss Harris. I'm just playing.
You've got
I'm just playing.
you've got
I'm just
our
playing.
clothing market cornered because I'm about to come after you
I'm
for
just
some
playing.
hats.
I ain't got
I'm
no
gonna put
job
you in
no
an
more.
ankle
So
lock for it.
I ain't got no job no more, so I may as well do something. See what they be doing.
You see, and I really do love the attention that Flint gets from around the country.
Yeah.
I hate you've got these. Art calls them gatekeepers, right?
Mhm.
But they're worse than gatekeepers. Some folks here in Flint, they're like, "Oh, you aren't from Flint, you don't have a say." I almost cussed. That's not how it works, right? You're supposed to love and care for your neighbor. And Miss Harris here is our neighbor from down in Kentucky. Loves and cares for us, and we love and care for her. And
Mhm.
I love to see her get some stuff done down in Kentucky because we all know that you guys have problems down there. I think one thing that everyone can accredit to Mr. Mays, like him or hate him, is because of his TikTok, people around the country are waking up to the corruption in
In their
local
own
politics.
city. Yeah, in their own cities. Yeah. Yep.
Lived out of state a few years back in Flint, writing FB to inform local stuff. Yeah, like I'm never gonna say, look, you ain't from Flint, you don't get a say, because I wasn't born here. Some people would think that I don't have a say. Like it still affects my family.
No, of course. Yeah.
My wife's family's been here for 4 generations. It still affects my children. It still affects my wife.
Mm-hmm.
It still affects me. Your piss poor governance and your high taxes still come out of my pocket.
Wait, she says she's got some Breonna Taylor stuff.
Ooh, what?
Breonna Taylor.
Oh wow. I
Yeah,
remember
Breonna
that.
Taylor's from Louisville. That's when the police killed her. Yeah.
I remember that. They went
And
doing
they went on
a no-knock raid and
and shot the wrong person.
Every fucking no-knock raid I've ever heard of, they had the wrong address.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Last
met
summer,
her when we went into Genesee County lockup.
Yeah,
That
that
nice
was
young
last
lady,
summer,
myself
right?
and Wintus got to meet her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was there talking to a lot of the folks incarcerated at the moment.
Wait a minute. Did I go speak at the jail that day too?
Not with Wintus and I. We walked in with Mr. Mays.
Okay, no, I went for what's that program that Sheriff Swanson has, and they were learning how to get a trade or something like that.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I forgot what that was, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was a trip, because we just got in our studio. I think that was back in March. We just got in the other studio.
Okay, yeah, she said yeah because she's from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Sister, that's why.
And
okay,
yeah, and
right, thank you, Miss Harris.
And we were invited in there by Joe Swanson. He's like, "Yeah, go on in, guys." And the nice officer that walked us through You know, he didn't even check our pockets. He walks us through a metal detector. We all go beep. He's like, "And you got a gun on you?" No, sir. All right, let's go.
Hmm.
You know, y'all wasn't that crazy.
Yeah.
No, we're walking through with Eric Mays. Like, hell no.
Which floor did they take you to?
Third or fourth.
All right, if you went to 4, you know that's 4AB and 4CD. That's the jungle.
Mm.
3, I think 3 is women. 3 or 5 is women. I'm not sure.
No, it was men only on the floor.
That might have been 4.
Yeah, I mean everyone was nice and kind. So the folks in the jumpsuits walk by me and they say, "Excuse me, sir." I'm sitting here going, "Why the hell am I being called sir?"
Maybe you weren't on 4. 4 is the place where they send you where they try to scare you unless you really did some shit wrong.
Oh,
And they try to send you up to 4 when you like. They sent me there once. They was trying to scare me, and I'm like, these are all my students. What you like?
you walk in, "Hey, Mr. Clack. Hey, Mr. Clack.
Yeah, like, what's
Hey,
up, Clack? Like, man, damn, I'm just like, I
I'm
got.
sorry, I haven't turned my homework in.
Yeah,
These
I
assholes
know,
won't give
man.
me a pencil."
Dang, man. No, I was in there for driving on suspended. This is a couple years back, and I had my license was suspended for something. I forget what it was.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah, no, I've only been arrested once in my adult life, man. Believe it or not.
okay. It might have been a few more times than one, but
No, I got completely hammered with some friends. I was 19 years old,
mhm.
and you know, even back then, I was still cognizant of like, dude, if I drink and drive, I'm probably gonna wreck this car. And I wasn't thinking about anything but my parents' insurance.
At least you
So
thought about that.
I dropped the car off at home, walked to my friend's place, got completely belligerent hammered, decided it's time to go home, tried walking home, and kept falling into mesquite bushes. And I fell asleep in one.
Mesquite, like
Yeah, it's a thin ass tree with a whole bunch of
thornies.
thorns.
That's
Yeah,
what I thought. Yeah.
yeah. Border Patrol found me, thought I was in an ATV accident. Then they
Oh,
sent me up to the hospital, took my blood alcohol level. They're like, "Oh, how old are you?" 19. Yeah, you're under the influence. That's illegal as hell. I'm like,
it's Miss Harris's Chris Swanson is.
oh yeah. Maybe I said Joe.
I think he did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
his name is Chris though.
Eh, he looks the same. He's got the same block chin, block head.
But yeah,
Oh yeah, Blaze. I was drunk. I went through an entire bottle of mezcal, and then after that, I drank half a bottle of gin.
half a bottle. Who what?
Mezcal. It's kind of like the difference between bourbon and sour mash, but tequila. It's like high end tequila.
All right.
Like that's the stuff that has the worm in it.
Oh yeah, no, I ain't.
I went through a whole
Right
bottle.
versus wrong. Actually, she can send y'all tequila too.
Yeah, I'll get with right
Inbox,
versus wrong
yeah,
after this.
yeah. Send
I don't want to
send
be
me an
putting
inbox. I
addresses
ain't
out
doing
there
all
on air.
that. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Make sure it's the Azuel. What is it? That blue and white bottle.
Ooh, Azul.
Azul.
Yeah.
Azul.
All
Or
right.
you can do that. What's that other one? That Don Julio.
Now see
Oh.
that's what I was drinking when I was in Virginia. I went and
Here, excuse me just a minute.
I don't know. I don't know. It definitely wasn't a 154 fifth I was drinking. I don't know. It was like $40 for a pint. You one of the ones that's up there. Yeah, no, I'm on the one that's eye length. I'm on the let me get that down, Julio, the brown bottle. It got me there.
I want to hang you there. It's like water, Clack.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. 100.
I want to be up there.
Yeah.
When you hit them, it's like water. Before you know it, you're gonna be like.
Yeah. See, that's part of the reason why I drink Hennessy, man. Because you know when you're drinking it, like you know when you drink it, this it's gonna hit you right there.
Trevor was drunk. Probably them Red Bulls that kicked in.
Yeah, he had to get up out of here. But yeah, no, I haven't. I don't know. I'm not really a big tequila drinker. I will though. Take some shots. I like Casamigos. I like.
You know what? I'm not even a drinker. I got friends who be drinking.
Yeah.
Had that expensive liquor.
Yeah, yeah.
I still got that bottle of whiskey Trevor gave me. Was it a Christmas gift from a year ago?
It was thanks for being there when Dad died gift.
Oh yeah. I got that. Then I still got what my girl wanted. That's what I'm gonna bring up here. I was supposed to bring it for when we got to I still got some. She brought me some Jamaican rum when she was in.
Ooh.
I haven't opened it up. I had the bottle stuff at home for a whole year.
Man, we should actually.
I mean, I got when she be going out of town.
Bring it back.
She bring back liquor and stuff. Man, a lot of that stuff I just be putting up, just sitting up on the cabinet. I haven't opened it up.
We should put that on the table right there, like the drink champs. Yeah.
I need to bring. Like I said, I haven't had that bottle. Both of them at the same time was a year. I remember my girl, she went to Bahamas, Jamaica last year. Yeah, and that, you know, they ain't making no more of that rum. That was the last bottle.
Hey, my girlfriend had some Jamaican. Was that what?
I feel you there. Like
was horrible.
When we were in high school, our kidneys and livers could actually function the way they're supposed to. But now, if I even get a buzz, I've got a hangover the next day.
Man, look, we're not going to talk about hangovers because yesterday I was not. But I didn't drink. I think I drunk once in high school, and I think my parents had gone to Puerto Rico for something, and that's the only time I had the balls to like. And it wasn't even like I remember it was oh my God, E&J and Mad Dog.
Oh God.
Yeah, man, that was.
Look,
I was just about to graduate. Yeah.
You chose the two worst alcohols to start on.
That was the last time I drank either one of those.
Yeah. Just like when I passed out in Mesquite Bush was the last time I drank gin.
Yeah.
I tried ordering an extra dirty martini a couple months ago. Extra dirty martini. They brought me it, and before it even hit my lips, I smelled the gin and gagged.
Yeah, see, that's why. Yeah. When I was in college, I was like, gin was the cheapest thing. You know what I mean? So it was. I used to. It's not even just.
Grandma liked Bombay gin.
I only drunk Bombay a couple times because Snoop Dogg used to. Like if Snoop can drink you Bombay, but this too cheap. Like this stuff cheap. Snoop ain't drinking this. Like
no, there's one liquor that I will never turn down anymore. It's called Tuaca, and
so you be drinking them weird stuff, man. I'm like,
it's a Italian brandy with So after they do the wine and they distill it and put it into the barrel, they put orange peels and vanilla in there.
Okay.
And they let it sit in the barrel for about 6 months before they put it in the bottle.
I remember bartending class, they did something like that. Orange peels or something, brandy or bourbon or something like that. I remember that in bartending class.
That stuff, when I was in the Army, every weekend I'd go to a club called Copperhead Road, which anyone here from Colorado Springs, go to Copperhead Road. I love that place to death. I would always get Tuaca bombs, right? So half Red Bull, half Tuaca, pound it. And to this day, anytime I touch Tuaca now, I feel this like fuzzy feeling right here. I'm like, oh, that's the stuff I remember. Yeah. I miss that, but I can't find it up here in Michigan. No one has the license to sell it here.
I think I've had a Jaeger bomb, couple of Jaeger bombs.
Yeah, I remember those.
Or what's the one when you drop the Jaeger in the beer? Is that a boiler maker?
I can't remember that.
Yeah, I think that's a boiler. You drop the Jaeger inside of a. I forget the beer.
Sorry, I'm reading.
Miss Kincaid.
Miss Kincaid here. Oh no!
Dang.
Yeah. Sorry, that's a lot to take in while we're just sitting here talking about getting hammered.
Yeah, sorry, we just was having a conversation. We did. I'm sorry, Miss Kincaid. Yeah.
Yeah, because the big thing about the water crisis,
it's over now. Ain't no more water crisis.
Going to jail, you free.
Yeah.
They created a crime, they free.
Hey man, I wish I had money so I could do crime and get away with it. No, it wasn't just lead. You know, that's what everyone wants to say.
No, it was way more.
Legionella, of course, which everyone heard of. But a lot of the molds that we're getting through, that were going into people's body, just like that, caused pneumonia. Pneumonia isn't actually a disease, it's a symptom. It's water inside the lungs. many diseases can give you pneumonia. And many of the worst offenders are molds, especially slime mold, because it isn't technically water, it's any fluid, and a slime mold is a
Mhm.
fluid and it likes to stick
Mhm.
and it's alive. So it can go through some of the selective permeable cells and actually hold itself in place.
Mhm.
The only way to remove it is with surgery. And even then, you can't get it all out. So you actually just have to replace the whole last lung.
Oh, she said he was sober our time together. He talked about his adventures all the time, hoping to divert young ones from repeating his errors.
Yep.
That's yeah. That's that's and I will say I commend him for that because I do the same thing to my students. You know,
Mhm.
like the things that I share with you all on the air is no different than what I tell my students. Any one of them can tell you that if you ever have run into one of my students, they know Mr. Clack has had his past. Mr. Clack has been to jail a few times. Mr. Clack has done this and done that. Don't do what Mr. Clack did. Be better than Mr. Clack.
Mhm.
Like for real. Like that's what my parents taught me. You got to be, my parents grew up in the era where it was still like black people fight the power, which this and that. So my dad always taught me that like you're not gonna get the breaks that your white friends are gonna get. So you got to be 2 or 3 times better at whatever it is that you want to do, because so just so you can be, in the same picture, in the same, equation. So I told my students the same thing. Like, hey, you got to be better than me. Mr. Clack, how am I gonna be better than you? You a teacher. No, this teacher ain't it. You know what I mean? Like this, you can, if you all y'all talk about y'all want to be rich, you know what I mean? So go be a
Teachers ain't
doctor.
rich.
No, go be a doctor. Go be a CEO of something. Go be a something. But so yeah, I just had to put that out there.
Oh, yeah. And, just like Miss Kincaid's former partner,
Hmm.
if I talk to you and you just joined the military, I'm going to give you every single thing I know about how to get around things in the military, things like that.
Hmm.
My daughter just started seeing a young man. She's down at his place for Halloween. We dropped her off, picked her up on our way home, and he's been talking about joining the army.
Hmm.
First thing I told him was 11 Bravo. He goes, no. Thank God, because there's no job after the army for infantry. Seriously,
But
unless it's illegal. Like cops don't want you because the only thing I know is how to shoot someone and how to secure things and then shoot someone. There are very few jobs where that is legal and they want you. A couple contractor companies like Triple Canopy, Blackwater, things like that.
is there still Blackwater?
They've renamed again.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah. No, he wants to go into cybersecurity for the army. I'm like, that's cool. There's job after that. Okay. Here's
Is
how
it
you
better
get
for
through
the Air
base.
Force to do that?
Huh?
Air Force, don't they do that too?
Yeah, every branch has
Okay.
their own
All right.
cybersecurity.
All right. My bad. Okay.
No, you're good. Then I'm like, okay, here's how you get through basic. I know nothing about your AIT, so I'm not even going to comment on that. Here's how you get through your unit. Here's how you XYZ, because I couldn't talk him out of it. He's got his heart set on it. Most kids, when I hear they want to join the military, I talk them the hell out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of military, the Air Force and Space Force just raised their
Space Force.
God,
That sounds so
that.
stupid. That sounds so.
And you know what their rank structure is, right? Guardian. Cringe. Anyway, they just raised their age limit to join to 42.
Like you can be up to 42 to join Space Force.
Mhm.
Mean you go out of outer space.
No.
Oh.
They're more radar technicians, satellite technicians, things like that.
Oh, okay. Because I'm thinking, wait, when I see the little,
No, we have
astronaut.
yeah, astronaut is NASA, and through NASA, Department of Defense, and they get most of their high altitude training and things like that to get used to low gravity and controlling a ship and things like that through the Air Force.
Hmm.
But up to 42 years old. Yusha Thomas, one of my favorite YouTube creators, black guy. He got up to staff sergeant in the maybe sergeant first class, and he does a lot of military related humor and content now. He was a recruiter for his last 6 years in the Army.
Hmm.
First thing he said was, because he's the one that I saw this from, he posted a picture. He goes, as a recruiter, I can tell you this is the first step to us preparing for war.
Do you know what? That's what we about to get off. But that's some. Hold on. Wait a minute. What do you think about this stuff going on? I'm thinking that it's the beginning of World War III. What do you think? Is that another conversation that's going to take too long? Because I really think it's about to be, we about to be the Wolverines, and it's going to be some Red Dawn popping off, and I need to go buy ammunition, and I need to.
You don't need to buy ammunition. Just come to my place.
Well, either way it goes, I'm just saying, like, I think there's, there's war in Russia, and there's war in Israel, and, then, I mean, it's like a lot going on out here in these streets. And then I'm just at Virginia Beach, and people just frolicking on the beach like, life is life.
You know what, Mickey? Can we make some time tomorrow afternoon?
Just tomorrow.
Thursday.
Yeah, we can. What time y'all want to come on? 12 o'clock?
Yeah, we can do Solutions Part 2 and go through all of that.
I don't care.
We can do it tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
I ain't got no
All right.
damn job no more.
Yeah, we can go through the global part of that, and we can talk about my views on where we're going and how my predictions on how Counter-Strikes will go and such. All right. I think closing words, like, me and Clack have both been out of it. He went down to Virginia, right? Enjoyed the sun. I saw that beach.
Yeah, I went to Virginia. It was homecoming for my daughter, who's a junior at Hampton University. She goes to HU. And my son, I went to Norfolk State, and it was both schools' homecoming, which Norfolk and Virginia, Norfolk State and Hampton are right across the bay, 30 minutes from each other. So, and also my son was at Norfolk State on a college visit. So It was just, we did a little thing. I slept a lot. Oh, thank you, Miss Kincaid. Thank you. But yeah, I drove 12 hours to sleep a lot. I missed most of the tailgate. I missed the parade. I missed the all black party. But it was cool.
Did you find yourself some good food at that tailgate?
No, I missed that. No.
Damn.
No, I went to tailgate. There's a Caribbean. I went to my favorite Caribbean restaurant though.
Oh, that's not even a tailgate if you're not sampling like people's food.
I didn't buy the tailgate ticket either though.
Okay.
So I kind of snuck in at the end. Like they was checking wristbands. So I had to do my Flint thing and kind of slide in. Like I've been there. So
yeah. And then on my part, this is the first year without my dad. He died a year ago yesterday. So my mind's
bro.
That's fine. It's just my mind's been elsewhere this entire week. But we're here now. We've got plenty to talk about. The rant, I've got an entire thing set up. I've been working on that. Got something set up for tomorrow on the bump. Be sure to tune into the morning bump, guys. We're trying to promote that. And then tune in tomorrow at noon-ish for myself and Clack again. And we're going to go over the global politics and what we see on the horizon.
Cool.
Yeah, we're good. Cheers.